tensions at the southern border are escalating. The Pentagon has deployed thousands of troops, fortifications are being strengthened, and military surveillance is intensifying. Soon, the border could see an ever more drastic escalation, a warplane built not just to monitor, but to strike. For years, the U.S. military has searched for an aircraft that could provide constant eyes on the ground and deliver firepower in an instant. It needed to be rugged, reliable, and able to operate where other aircraft could not. The answer came in the form of the OA-1K Skyraider II. With its single engine and bulky frame, it resembles the attack aircraft of Vietnam rather than the modern jets of today. But beneath its Cold War exterior lies cutting-edge technology designed for contemporary warfare. This aircraft is on the verge of taking off, and despite being initially envisioned as a weapon designed for battlefields overseas, with tensions at the southern border escalating, some believe it will soon patrol American skies with payloads exceeding 8,000 pounds. Yet no one knows exactly how far it will go. Years in the making. As U.S. forces waged battles across the mountains of Afghanistan and the deserts of Iraq in the first years of the 21st century, military commanders found that America's war machine lacked a crucial weapon, a surveillance aircraft that could remain operational in the harshest of terrains. The Air Force Special Operations Command, or AFSOC, first attempted to fill this void in 2006, acquiring a batch of Swiss-built Pilatus PC-12s, a high-performance utility aircraft. Modified for military operations, these planes became the U-28A Draco, an unarmed sentinel tasked with observing enemies from above. For nearly 2 decades, the Draco kept watch, flying over remote war zones, gathering intelligence and guiding special forces to their targets. But as the year passed, the U-28A's expiration date loomed closer. Before the aircraft became obsolete, the first Trump administration intervened. In early 2020, the U.S. Special Operations Command, or SOCOM, launched Armed Overwatch, a program that promised to redefine American air power in irregular warfare by crafting a new breed of aircraft, one that not only served for intelligence-gathering missions, but which could also offer direct combat support to ground troops. Even as Trump left office, his vision for the program endured. In 2022, under Joe Biden's administration, SOCOM awarded a $3 billion contract to Air Tractor and L3 Harris to build 75 next-generation warplanes labeled OA-1K Skyraider II, set to act as the replacement for the aging U-28A Draco. By summer 2024, the first prototypes touched down in Florida. Training missions began, test pilots strapped in, and the countdown to operational deployment commenced. The first fully armed and armored Skyraider II is set to arrive by spring 2025. While the aircraft's potential is undeniable, its initial mission remains undisclosed. But with Trump back in the White House and border security taking center stage, military leaders have hinted at a new role for the Skyraider II, one that could see it patrolling American skies. A warplane like no other. In a recent press conference, Brigadier General Craig Prather, Director of Strategic Plans for AFSOC, stated, quote, "The Skyraider II could take on missions from the southwest border and create dilemmas to those we are in competition with. The Skyraider II is unlike anything that's ever patrolled the U.S.-Mexico border. With its state-of-the-art firepower, unmatched endurance, and ability to operate from the harshest terrain, this new aircraft represents a complete departure from the U-28A Draco." The Skyraider II was born from the air tractor AT-802, an agricultural crop duster. Yet, through advanced military engineering, it has been transformed into a lethal war machine, capable of thriving where modern jets falter. Its ability to operate from virtually any rough terrain set the AT-802 apart in SOCOM's highly competitive armed Overwatch trials, beating out several contenders, including the A-29 Super Tucano, a Brazilian counterinsurgency aircraft known for its extensive weapons payload and low operational costs. Unlike the Draco, which was limited to passive intelligence gathering, the OA-1K is an active hunter. A version of the AT-802 has already been used in cartel targeting operations, destroying drug crops. The Skyraider II takes this capability a step further, bringing real firepower to an area where criminal organizations have operated relatively unchallenged. Named after the A-1 Skyraider, which served both in Korea and Vietnam, This next-generation aircraft is equipped to carry a payload unmatched by any single-engine turboprop in existence, with 8,000 pounds of destructive tools. Among its arsenal of high-precision weaponry, the Skyraider II can reportedly be equipped with AGM-114 Hellfire missiles to strike against high-value targets, GBU-12 500-pound laser-guided bombs, LAU-131 rocket pods with AGR-20 APKWS-2 laser-guided rockets, and 50-caliber machine guns. But firepower is not the only area in which the Skyraider II excels. Though designed for low-intensity conflict zones, the OA-1K is not defenseless in a fight. Should it find itself engaged in hostile airspace, it's equipped with AN/AAR-47 missile warning systems, which allow the pilot to detect incoming threats before they strike. It also carries AN/ALE-47 countermeasure launchers and self-sealing fuel tanks. A military shift. If deployed to the US-Mexico border, the Skyraider II would adapt easily. Unlike conventional military jets, the OA-1K Skyraider II can take off and land on remote, makeshift runways to ensure fast response times and deep penetration into surveillance zones. Its design allows it to be disassembled and loaded into a C-17 cargo plane within 24 hours, making it instantly deployable anywhere in the region. Despite its cutting-edge capabilities, it remains highly cost-effective, operating under $10,000 per flight hour, a fraction of the $150,000 required for multi-aircraft mission stacks. A cheap, rugged, and lethal warplane is precisely the type of asset that aligns with Trump's renewed focus on securing the southern border after designating drug cartels as terrorist organizations. Now, as border tensions escalate, the U.S. has seemingly secured an asset to support the nearly 3,000 troops recently deployed by the Pentagon to seal the border. Air Force Lieutenant General Michael Conley recently stated, quote, "I'm excited about the Skyraider II. I think we have a capability that's only ours, and we're going to have the ability to shape that into something that the rest of the nation might not even know they need right now." Since President Trump's return to office, reports have surfaced of unusual aerial operations near Mexico, hinting at an escalation in border security efforts. In early February, a U.S. Air Force RC-135V rivet joint, one of the most advanced intelligence-gathering planes in America's arsenal, conducted 2 sorties over the narrow line of international waters in the Gulf of California. Additional reports indicate that U.S. Navy P-8A Poseidon maritime patrol planes have also been sweeping the southern border, gathering intelligence and monitoring movements. With unconventional aircraft patrols increasing in the region, some have suggested that Trump's administration is intensifying surveillance of criminal operations, possibly preparing for direct action if deemed necessary. Mystery. However, despite strong hints that the OA-1K Skyraider II could soon patrol the US-Mexico border, there has been no confirmation that this will be its only mission. When asked about its future deployment, a spokesperson for US Northern Command simply stated, quote, "We do not discuss future operations or capabilities." If not used to support ground troops across the southern border, another battlefield has been suggested as a potential destination for the warplane. Across Africa, the U.S. military has been conducting covert operations against terrorist organizations for years. Some analysts suggest that the Skyraider II might be destined not for border patrols, but for counterterrorism strikes in diverse African nations. Recently, the U.S. Embassy in Somalia issued an alert that could support this theory, warning Americans, quote, "Terrorists continue to plot kidnappings, bombings, and other attacks in Somalia. They may conduct attacks with little or no warning, targeting airports and seaports, checkpoints, government buildings, hotels, restaurants, shopping areas, and other areas where large crowds gather and Westerners frequent. One wrong move, one major attack, and the first OA-1K combat mission could take place not along the Rio Grande, but thousands of miles away over the battlefields of Somalia. The uncertain future. Still, nothing is guaranteed for the Skyraider II program as the Trump administration recalibrates military priorities. Even before Trump's return to office, the Government Accountability Office had raised concerns about the size of the OA-1K fleet. In the 2023 report, the agency argued that 75 aircraft exceeded SOCOM's operational needs, recommending a substantially smaller fleet instead. Now, With Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth enforcing an 8% reduction across the military budget, the scrutiny on unnecessary spending is only intensifying. Adding to the uncertainty, President Trump recently announced plans for a large-scale missile defense initiative known as the Golden Dome, designed to neutralize long-range missile threats. These statements have led some defense analysts to speculate that funding may be redirected toward high-end warfare, particularly countering foreign threats, with China emerging as a primary focus in national security discussions. Whether or not the Skyraider II will cement its place in Trump's evolving defense strategy remains to be seen.